Holy heck, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Mostly Movies podcast with Nick and Christian. He's Nick. I'm Christian. And today we're coming to you live from the Airbnb. And the movie we are mostly discussing today is Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. But before we get into all that, as always, please head over to thescreengods.com for all of Nick's movie reviews and our full library of podcast episodes. Guys, you can find it all at thescreengods.com. And of course, you can always find us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, IG, and X for more clips and other fun content. But man, we got a lot to discuss tonight. I can't wait to hear your thoughts about this movie. It's, for me, the most anticipated movie of the year. I was so excited for it. I want to love it. Can I say that? I want to love it. And I also want to shout out Ryan Coogler, who is from Oakland. He went to Sac State, who directed Black Panther and Fruitvale Station. He's kind of been with Michael B. Jordan kind of through Michael B. Jordan's whole career. And I want to say shout out to him because there's going to be a lot of things I say about this movie, but I want to say early that I completely respect Ryan and I think he's a great director. And I think this movie was shot beautifully. I think it was, at night, you could see all the scenes. It was lit well. It was beautifully acted. And I want to say Michael B. Jordan is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. If nothing else, that was my takeaway from this is he is the new Denzel. He's the new Will Smith, even probably better than Will Smith, not Denzel. But man, I really wanted to love this one, dude. And I want to hear your thoughts, but man, I just couldn't. I couldn't. And maybe there's a lot of it I think I don't understand, which I'm willing to admit. But I think I've seen enough movies to understand. And this one there was so much, as they say, meat left on the bone, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to get into it. But I want to hear what you think first. And then sure. You'll hear my thoughts.
Yeah. No, so I just, on the Ryan Coogler thing, I didn't realize that he's a local boy. Not only was he born in Oakland, he went to Sac State University, so that's where we're from now. Which obviously we didn't go to Sac State. I'm not like some.
I got in or anything. I got accepted.
I got accepted.
Yeah.
You have zero credits.
Hold on. A little side story here. I got accepted to Sac State. And they disqualified me because I didn't show up for orientation.
That's like failing the SATs for not putting your name on the test.
Yeah. I literally got an email because I was like too sick, hungover. Here I am, 15 years later, 16, 17. I can't do math. That's why I didn't go. But I literally got an email saying your admittance has been disqualified because I didn't show up. Yeah, revoked because I didn't show up to orientation to a fucking dorm I wasn't going to go to. So, but I got in.
All right.
And I'm proud of that.
So anyway, I didn't realize that. And you're right, he has been with him. It looks like he's even did the Creeds as well. I never saw the Fruitvale Station thing, so it's probably something I'll have to watch. And was that a Jordan Peele thing as well?
No, he was still doing.
Okay.
No. Okay. But I haven't seen Creed. Have you seen Creed? I've heard it's fucking amazing. I've heard it's amazing.
I'd have to rewatch it through our eye now. When I saw it before, I wasn't really watching it the way we watch movies now because we're doing back then. I thought, but here's what I'll say. That's a great segue. So first things first, Creed. And if you've listened to any of our other pods or, you may have picked up on this theme with me in particular, because Christian roasts me about this all the time, but in this case, it's true. Things that get overhyped, you're setting yourself up for a bar that you better meet. Specifically with me, Creed did not meet that bar for me. I was like, it's cool, but I wasn't like, oh my God, that's the best movie I've ever seen or anything like that. And then this one, it's very much the same. So this movie, and Christian and I saw previews for this a while back, and probably about 3 months ago, Christian said they're doing too much with these previews. They're showing you the whole movie, basically. And we were kind of getting annoyed because it was like they're doing so much with these trailers. Then about a month ago, you came around and was like, all right, the trailers are actually looking pretty good. I like the you did like a 180.
No, totally. Yeah, totally. I did.
So, and I don't know what changed in that. Maybe just like maybe you discovered something about the movie. But first, so
Well, I would say when the reviews came out and they were as good as they were, it kind of just reinforced. Well, what it made me think was, okay, maybe the trailer didn't show everything. And
exactly
the amount that it did show, well, this movie has to be great because there has to be another thing beyond this because they did show much during the trailer. They did.
Right. And so that's the thing is I think that's what I was going to get at is maybe you started to get more data, right? Which is, for one, this is a 2.5-hour movie. It's not short.
It's not.
And I'll get to my thoughts on that. So anyway, so overall, I mean, again, we're not going to cover the plot in mad detail, but it's got
kind of
lot,
a vampire movie.
It's kind of a vampire movie. It's got a lot going on. Here are my thoughts on it. Yes, the acting was really, really good. And yes, I agree with all the things about Michael B. Jordan. I actually thought this was the first time I've watched some of his movies. I haven't watched all of them. So like I said, I haven't seen, was he in Fruitvale Station too?
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan? Okay.
That was his breaking out role.
Okay. Well, I thought Creed was. I think Creed was.
No, it wasn't. Fruitvale Station was, Fruitvale Station was multiple years before.
Oh, you're right, because that was 2013. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually like both of their debuts, honestly. Michael B. Jordan was in like The Wire as a really young kid, but it was both his and Ryan Coogler's kind of coming out movie. But go ahead.
Okay. I've never seen it. But anyway, Creed, I think he was forced down my throat. And I kind of, again, I was anti, like, it was one of those movies where when you're a boxer, like, because he was boxing and because, and this was my takeaway with it, when a tough guy shows emotion, they automatically look like you're the best actor in the world. That's what it was. That's what it was for me. You know, this really big boxer, tough guy shed a tear and he got like all this attention for it. I was like, okay, like I wasn't mesmerized by his performance in Creed. I was like, he looks like every other boxing movie I've ever seen. Not a big deal.
I've never had any interest in Rocky. I've never had any, and I know it's great. People say it's great. I have zero interest in it. It just doesn't move the needle for me. So I totally understand.
And Creed, honestly, is light years better than any of the Rocky movies because it's not even really a Rocky movie. The only thing that makes it a Rocky movie is that Stallone is in it, but he's terrible in that, by the way, too. He's awful.
Terrible in everything.
He's terrible in everything.
Literally everything.
He's not good. Yeah, he's not good. You and I agree on that. So anyway, so to get back to this movie, Sinners, hyped, right? Christian, was telling us last week, if you listened to our pod last week, we're really excited about this because it's getting a lot of attention. The things that I was looking forward to, which did not disappoint, was the time period, because I like that time period a lot. I totally misjudged how much racial undertones was going to be in this. I was not prepared for that, which is weird because there was so much details in the trailer. So I think they definitely did that on purpose, which caught me by a little bit by surprise. And then, so I'll get to that. There was a little bit of religious undertones. That was executed very poorly, in my opinion. And then you have the vampire piece. And probably the most important thing that I felt like was just totally disjointed, or at least maybe you called it leaving more meat on the bone. The movie is called Sinners for a reason. And it's only when you filter through all the noise, and by noise I mean all the racial stuff, the weird Southern, not even racial stuff, but just weird Southern cultural things, and kind of hard to follow dialogue. There's a lot that was just really hard to like understand what they were trying, like, for 45 minutes. And this is when Christian saw the movie originally with me. He was like, I don't know what's going on here. And I wasn't confused, but I also was just not sure where it was going or what the point of it was.
Totally.
And it turns out there's not that much of a point to it. It didn't really need to be there. But the movie is called Sinners because I think, and I'll finish up with this and you can tell me what you think about this. The whole point of it was that, at least I think this was supposed to be the point of it, is that you have all these people who are doing things that at that time period would be considered sinful. So the preacher boy, he's one of the main protagonists in the movie. He's having all these kind of lustful thoughts and he's playing music he's not supposed to be playing, right? Because back then that was kind of considered sinful.
I guess so, but it was totally acceptable at the Yeah,
Right.
juke joint.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the point, right? Is
Sure.
then you have Michael B. Jordan's characters who I guess they were criminals, but they don't really ever tell you that they're what they did or what they didn't do. You just have to take it at face value that they're criminals. So maybe that's their sin. Then you have the two women who are or that are both adult cheating on their husbands. Like, so the point is, I think what they were trying to say is all these people were getting what they deserved with the vampire attack at the end. But they didn't lean hard enough into any of the sinning for any of the characters for that to make sense. But yet they named the movie Sinners.
Right.
So it was so discombobulated that I couldn't really, I guess my point is I couldn't really understand what message they were trying to give me because that's what I thought it was supposed to be. I still think that's what they were aiming for. But then there was a lot of racial things. So I'm like, maybe that's the point of this whole movie is they're just trying to hit me with that. I mean, a spoiler, it's not friendly to white people in this movie at all. So that then that's by design, right? Because of the time period.
Right.
They're, oh, this is a big time spoiler. At the end, Michael B. Jordan massacres like 27 Klan members, which, obviously rightfully so, but definitely uncomfortable to watch. But also is weird because it just doesn't keep in tone with the movie at all. I was lost.
None of it adds up. The third act is such a fucking mess. So much so that I liked the first act more than I liked the second act. And I got up last night and walked out of the first act.
Yeah, you're right.
Then I rewatched it. And I go, this was better. The third act is such a fucking mess. I don't understand it. I don't understand really why there were vampires in the movie at all.
I don't either.
They don't explain it. They just happen to be there. They rules that they dictate and then just blow over where they're not allowed to just enter the...
For some reason,
they're talking to the vampires at the door like Jehovah's Witnesses. It's insane. They're just, and then only does Michael B. Jordan reach out his hand, and then the vampire, so for some reason, the vampires couldn't come into the club, but then they kick down the door, and then they come into the club, which
that
made
part I do know
zero
why.
sense. Okay. Explain.
So
please.
The Asian chick invited them in when she screamed, and that's the reason.
Okay.
She was come in.
So they had to be invited in.
Right, but that part is not explained. Why do they have to be invited in?
And also, the other thing is that there's Native Americans in the beginning of the movie who...
Randomly.
Yeah, randomly. I guess they were in Mississippi in 1932. I don't know. Maybe they were, but... Also, they were keen to everything that was happening. They knew the existence of vampires, and they just go,
they do.
Yeah. But then they just go, have a good night, good luck, and they just leave. They don't warn anybody. They don't say anything to anybody, which, I guess.
Well, they tried to warn the homeowner. They said, it's not what you think.
No, but even then, just say what the fuck it is. There's no clarity there. And then was it Smoke or Stacks? Who's Annie? Who's Annie's girlfriend? I think it's Smoke. But either way, she apparently just knows all about vampires.
Well, she's some sort of she's
a voodoo kind of.
She's like a
black magic.
Yeah, she's a down south black, voodoo kind of which
right
again. If they would have spent more time there, it would have made more sense. That was the only thing they kind of tied together, kind of, in a way. But yeah, it was weird.
Right. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she goes, oh, yeah, I know what's happening. This is what we have to do. We have to have garlic. We have to it just...
So,
the vampire... Go ahead.
Real quick, because you just touched on something, I don't want to forget it. They had all this weird stuff. They tried to put a different take on a vampire story, right? Set it in a time the 1930s is a weird time to set vampires. That's not the traditional time frame.
No, but great.
So cool. They did that. That was cool. Then they mixed in some weird flashbacks into the 90s out of nowhere, which that was weird and no point.
Yeah.
No point and no explanation. So strange. And then what I thought was even funnier is they went new age, different setting, unique take, and then they went, okay, when it comes time to kill the vampires, though, we're keeping that 100% traditional. Wooden stakes, silver bullets, and garlic, which was such an odd choice, and sunlight, right? All the things that are in the folk tales or in the tales.
Right.
But
And
such a strange mix of traditional vampire
And
elements.
I have no idea why the villain was the villain or what his goal was. It had something to do with a magical guitar. I guess Sammy's guitar.
Again, not explained.
Not explained at all. I did love Slim. His character was awesome.
He's the best.
The drunk.
He's the best in the movie. Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was fucking awesome. The scene with him eating the garlic and like almost throwing
so
it up.
good.
Yeah, was
every
awesome.
Scene he was in, he basically stole. Honestly, I think he stole the movie. Honestly,
pretty much
every scene he was in. And if you don't know who we're talking about, his name is Delroy Lindo. He's best known for, I think, Cider House Rules. I think he was one of his.
What else?
Blade. He was in Blade.
No, give me something else. I know him from something.
He's been in a ton of stuff, dude.
Yeah. No, he's awesome.
Let's see. Get Shorty.
Okay.
Malcolm X. Oh, he was in Gone in 60 Seconds, too.
That's it. That's it.
He's
it. Yes.
He's the one trying to chase down Nicolas Cage in that movie.
Yes. No, he's fucking movie. Awesome. I didn't understand them building up how close the twins were than to just have the brother try and fuck his ex-lover for no reason, like just without any hesitation. I don't understand that.
I don't think that happened. I think you were just confusing the twins.
The twins? Am I? Because he was staring at them from over the thing. And he was like staring at them like they're not supposed to be talking. So maybe I do have that confused. Maybe I do, but
I think that was more he didn't want his brother messing with her again.
Gotcha.
That's all that was. Yeah, because of whatever.
Yeah, that confused that.
But even that dude, even that wasn't explained. Why he didn't want him to. There was no real reason for it.
No, and like, what was the reason they left Chicago? Was it because they boosted booze and liquor?
It's never really explained. It's only hinted at.
That was the only thing I could gather because he's like, I have 500 bottles of this Irish beer and I have this Irish wine. It's like the only thing I could think of is like they boosted a bunch of like booze. But they don't explain that either.
Yeah, I mean, Haley Steinfeld, her character, which I've already forgotten the name of her character in the movie,
is completely useless.
She should have a big role, but she doesn't really. I mean, she does. She has screen time, but it's not. Again, yeah, man. I like you said, you want to like it because
and I like I love the first hour of it. I liked how stylized it was. I loved how it was shot. I thought it was shot beautifully. I thought the lighting was great. Which I can't say. I'm very well documented on this program about saying how shitty things are lit. The lighting's
got to be right.
Yeah, and I think in that scene where Sammy is playing and it's like transcending like generations and it incorporates like the Asian people, like it incorporates everybody except whites. It incorporates, which is fine. It incorporates every single rate. Like in the juke joint is on fire. I thought that scene was very cool. And that's the scene that people have been talking about is like, it's supposed to like transform cinema. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's okay. It was all right. Like, I'm not seeing it's tough because it was very original in a way, which I respect. We talk so much shit about how many movies are not original anymore. So I want to say that on that level, I respect it. I do. If they this is what I don't get. Make the Ku Klux Klan members the vampires. That's it. That's all you had to do. And then make it about Michael B. Jordan and his twin massacring these people. Great. That would have been a sick fucking movie if they were holed up in this juke joint and they're all with their people and themselves and they have to fend off these Ku Klux Klan racist vampires. That's fucking sick. And then there's vampires and then there's the race. I'm so confused on because
you're right. Because now that you're saying that, I'll take it even a step further. I mean, and they don't consult us before they make these movies, which they really
sure don't. They really should.
And they definitely should consult you because I think this is a great idea.
Yeah.
If you call the movie Sinners, what you end up with, if you just did what you did, is two groups of people, all of them sinning in completely different ways.
Yes.
And now it's a battle of who's the worst people.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Now, you would have to lean in a little bit heavier on the sinning on
Sure.
On Michael B. Jordan's side and all them, because they're, obviously racism is
Right, but
in the Klan is crazy aggressive. But it would put the watcher in a dilemma, right? Like, who are the bad guys in this? And spoiler, they're all shitty people, and now you have that kind of dynamic. It would have been really cool.
But they make you sympathetic to all of Michael B. Jordan's character, Sammy's character, the girl that Sammy was trying to get at. They make you sympathetic to all these people, and then they kill them off, and you just go, well, why? Like, I don't understand why they were sinners. It's never explained why Michael B. Jordan's character and his brother were bad. They really don't explain it. What I thought was interesting, though, is the fact that they had a red cap and a blue cap. Why'd they do that? Why
did they do that?
Yeah, why the fuck would you do that? I don't know, but that was odd to me because, again, it just kind of stirs racial. I think it stirs people like me to be like, is this like Bloods and Crips? But it's not. It's
interesting. I definitely noticed the color thing, but I didn't take it that deep. I just thought that's how you can easily tell who's who. But yeah, they could have chosen They could have chosen any colors.
Yeah, like, why would you choose red and fucking blue? Makes no fucking sense to me at all. And also, it's the slowest movie. It doesn't even start until an hour 10 into the movie. There's no vampires. There's not like it doesn't like, and also in the trailer they marketed it as like it's going to be this action flick.
Right.
There's no fucking there's 10 minutes of action. 10 minutes.
It takes forever, and yeah, when you get it, it's not bad, but it also wasn't extraordinary. And I'll tell you what I mean, I'm saying there's a Tarantino movie, one of his
Django. Are you going to go Django Unchained? Because that's where I'm going. Django Unchained. Okay.
No, I actually don't know if I'll have to look this up. Tarantino starred in this movie alongside George Clooney, and if you haven't seen it, you should. Along with, I think it is the beautiful Salma Hayek. Yeah, it's a movie called From Dusk Until Dawn. Have you seen that?
Yes, love it.
The vampire action in that movie is exponentially better, and that's in 1996.
Fantastic. Because Tarantino's like, I'm just going to make a vampire movie.
Right.
That's what it should be. It should be. And well, I was talking to Mom earlier about this, and I said, this movie has been done before, but it's called Django Unchained. It's the same. It's not the same, but like in the sense that it's about a recently freed slave who is trying to get his wife back from a plantation owner, a slave owner. And it's like, if you're trying to do the whole white man are evil shtick, fine, then do that. But just fucking do it. Don't do this whole fucking metaphor about how we're vampires, but kind of not vampires. And this whole bullshit like metaphor, it made no fucking sense. It's like, dude, again, you could have just made the clan members vampires, and I'm on board. I'm good.
Right.
You're like
the white guy's on board.
Yeah. No, like literally, Django Unchained is one of my favorite movies, and I watch that movie and I don't get offended. I don't get offended. This movie offends me because it's and like I was trying to explain to her, it's like trying to offend people who had nothing to do with whatever took place in 1932. I don't have anything to do with it. My relatives have nothing to do with it. Like, it's offensive. It's fucking offensive. And again, maybe the movie's not for me. Fine. But they're trying to sell tickets. I'm the one buying it. I bought 2 tickets. Fuck.
Yeah, well, and I think so. Prepare for that. Like, if you're wondering what you're gonna get, like the way they do it is super subtle too. Well, let me bring that back. It's not that subtle, but it feels subtle. So it opens and it's like cotton picking,
right? Yeah,
and
100%.
You so immediately you're in there. Probably everybody who sees it, no matter what your race is, you're all uncomfortable together for a minute because no one knows how to react in that situation because they're not. It's just there and you're like, okay. But yeah, dude, like I think you said it in the right way which is, this is what I told Jordan, our daughter. I don't know what message you're trying to get across.
I don't either.
And if I don't get it, I can't say it was a great film. There's great aspects to it, but
yes, But I left the
That's
movie. I left the movie confused. I left the movie unsure again of what even the message was.
Right.
I'm still not sure of it, which is not a great marker of good filmmaking, I think.
Right.
Because again, I point back to Django Unchained. It's a great film. And it's a clear protagonist. It's clear, what the antagonist is doing. It all makes sense. And it's a period piece in a time that is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, which going into this, I knew that. It takes place in 1930. Like, I knew that going in, that I wasn't going to feel good about it, but it was just fucking lazy. It was so fucking lazy and again, I don't know why there are vampires in it. What was the fucking point of the goddamn vampires? Except for the fact that I have an ex-girlfriend named Haley and she's a vampire. So great. That makes sense.
I knew you were going to get that in at some point.
But nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense.
They were trying to saying, right?
He was trying to use it as like a vehicle for racism and all that. It's like, yeah, you could have just done that and just made the Klans guys, the guy who sold them the juke joint in the beginning, right? Because obviously he had motives to just show up the next day and kill them and take their money, right? That was the entire thing. So like, what the fuck was in between all of that? I think it was such a missed opportunity for Coogler. It could have been so much fucking better. And if he would have just made it an action vampire flick, it would have been fucking awesome. And instead it was an hour and 20 minutes of talking. It's weird.
Like sometimes, and this can happen. So maybe as we wrap up, let's say it like this. Sometimes this can happen. I've seen it in other just overall artists. It happens with musicians. It happens with directors, even just regular like contemporary artists, right? Where you get so focused on
trying to reach a deeper meaning.
You're getting so focused on trying to make a point,
right,
that you lose the fundamentals of whatever you're doing. So maybe another way to say it is, if you're a chef and you're like you're getting so lost in the presentation when you're trying to put it in front of the judges that it ends up tasting like shit.
100%.
That's what this is. It's like
100%.
There's a lot that looks. It's a lot of eye candy. There's a lot of cool shit going on. But then I'm still hungry, dude.
There's no
substance at the end of the meal.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like that's a fantastic point. It's like a chef who's like, I'm gonna make a steak out of bubbles. And you go, right? Well, I don't want that. I just want a fucking steak. I don't need I don't need steak made out of, what is that powder? The candy powder, the Fun Dip. It's like, yeah, I don't need you to break a steak down molecularly into powder and then I sniff it into my nose. Just give me a steak with garlic butter, which is a classic vampire movie, but also it was better than Nosferatu. So fuck Nosferatu. Because it
actually, honestly, I don't know. I don't know in terms of like obviously the actual like the way it's shot and everything is definitely better, because Nosferatu you can't see shit in half of
can't
it.
See anything. Yeah.
But the tension build up in Nosferatu is actually pretty good in a lot of places.
Yeah,
so.
and that's what I said earlier is like the first hour of tension and build up is great. It's better than the second or third act of the movie, which is, it says a lot about it, and a lot of people are going to disagree with us apparently due to IMDb ratings are out of the chart, but I just don't see it, man. I really don't.
Well, we haven't done a controversial, aside from your Bob Dylan take, we haven't done a controversial review, I don't think. I mean, Warfare we didn't rake it over the coals. This one, I mean, I'm going to lead with some headlines on that just basically says it's not that good.
No.
It's just not that good. And like, it's okay for people to disagree with us. I mean, 100%. And we're going to get attacked for sure. Two white guys don't understand it or whatever it is. Because that's the point. I don't understand it.
Right. And I'm sure there, on some level, is some deeper meaning to it that you and I just, hey, because of our privilege, we can't understand. So it is what it is. But yeah, I there's a lot of things I loved about it. I wanted to love it more, but I can't. Yeah, I really can't. And also the marketing, like the Tommy gun scene was like the number one marketed scene.
Right.
And that doesn't happen until the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Which,
and
by the way,
not even on the vampires. He didn't use the Tommy gun on the vampires.
I know, dude. If you guys could see our faces, if you're watching the YouTube version of
So
this, but if you're listening to it, dude, it's asinine.
the tools they used to fight the vampires were a 9mm pistol and wooden stakes and garlic. But then the whole time he had a Tommy gun in the back of his car right there.
Well, he couldn't get outside, remember, at night.
Well, they couldn't come inside. So what are the fucking rules here?
No, at that point, once they came in, it was kind of stupid. Yeah,
And
but it didn't matter because the bullets didn't kill him.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know why he was shooting him with the 9mm. It did nothing.
Yes, it sometimes did, and then it sometimes didn't. And then also the Asians with the Southern accent,
loved it.
What are we?
So good, so funny to me.
What? I don't think there was any Asian. Oh, well, I won't say that, but
no, I'm sure there was, and maybe that's the point. But it's still out of context, and it's hilarious.
I guess. But did they have Southern accents?
Yeah,
both
I think
of them?
everyone does.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
I think you had to. Well, and I mean, even the opening act that Christian's talking about, which is very slow and there's a lot of build. Even that, honestly, I had problems with. Not the pace of it, but
no, me
half
either.
the time I couldn't understand what they were saying. The accents were so thick, and I was like, I'm lost. Can't really.
Yeah.
Just move on.
But I want to come back to Michael B. Jordan is fucking awesome. Can we say that?
He's very good.
He's fucking awesome, dude. And
he should get a lot more attention for this than he ever got for Creed, in my opinion.
Well, no, and he will. I mean, this is gonna. And again, I've heard. So there was apparently 2 extended credit scenes.
Yeah, did you not see him?
I didn't. Did you?
So it's funny you say that too. This is just gonna make you more mad. That's all it's gonna do. Great. So we got up to leave, and no one got up. And so the theater we were at, because we were at IMAX, it's not one of those where you can easily, there's not a lot of space. It's an older theater because it's downtown Sacramento. And so you have to like step on people. So when no one else got up, like I'm talking nobody, a theater of 350 people, no one got up.
Did you get up and Jordan sit back down?
So we got up and we're like, they must know something we don't know.
Right.
So we sat down, and of course we see all these extended credit scenes, and all it does is flash forward to the main protagonist, I guess we'll call him the main protagonist, but Sammy, the musician, in 1992, a bunch of 60 years later. And he's playing in like a blues club, and Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld, still vampires, haven't aged at all, walk into his club, and there's like a little dialogue back and forth, which again, no point. I don't know if I lost you, or are you still there? I may have lost Christian, but yeah, if you look at the extended scenes, even those ones, there's supposed to be some dialogue and some deeper meaning, message I think you're supposed to get out of that, where they're kind of all talking about how even though it was a bloody night and everyone died or turned into vampires, that before that, it was like the best night of all their lives because they were, having a sinning good time, so to speak. So, all right, hopefully we can get Christian to pop back in here. All right, Christian's back, no problem.
Sorry, guys. I didn't realize I had low battery. So I thought MacBooks just last forever. I don't know when to charge them, really, until they're dead.
Yeah.
So
I just leave everything charged in all the time.
Anyway, sorry.
But anyway, what I was saying is there's an end scene where it's in 1992, and Sammy is old, and he's playing in a blues club, and Haley Steinfeld and her vampire character and Michael B. Jordan, one of the Smokestack brothers, I forget which one, comes in because they haven't aged because they're vampires. But then there's a little dialogue, dude. And again, it's dialogue basically that they're trying to get across some sort of message. I still don't know what it is even then, but they're basically talking about how Sammy, he's not afraid of them. That's the first takeaway. And he's not afraid of them, really. He starts talking to them and says something like, the crazy thing about that night is before the sun rose.
Wait, are Smoke and Stack both there?
Just one of them.
Okay.
And so basically,
because
whichever one turned into a vampire.
Stack, right? Or was that Smoke?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was Stack.
Who cares? I don't know. Now, listen. I will say the Smoke and Stack character names. I actually thought that was really good. I liked that.
Yeah.
But it does get confusing if you haven't seen it. But the one who turned into a vampire, he's obviously ageless now because that's what vampires are. So, but apparently you find this out in the movie. Spoiler: he never actually stabs his brother. He never kills him with the wooden stake. He lets him off.
Okay.
But why? Again, in no way, shape, or form would you ever let him go. And this is the point that you were making earlier. They're supposed to be so close that they can't hurt each other, but they're not.
Right.
And no matter how close you are, you can't just be letting a vampire go in any way, shape, or form. It's ridiculous.
And also he stabbed his girl. So why was he willing to stab his girl, Annie, but not his own brother?
No, he didn't stab the girl. She's actually alive too. Still,
No, not
she
Haley.
got away.
Not Haley Steinfeld. The other girl, and
Annie, the bigger black lady, the witch doctor.
Yeah,
lady,
yeah.
right?
He stabbed her in the heart to release her from. I get. You know what's funny too is
Well,
like
she asked him to. That's why.
right, but also what's funny is they were trying to make it sound like being a vampire sucked. I thought it sounded pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really do a good job of like being like this is hell. Seemed like all the vampires they were Irish jigging and they were having a good time. So I'm not really understanding why
Until they all burned up in the sunlight. Yeah.
Yeah. And also vampires know that. They know the rules. Okay? And sunlight
I know that was another humongous plot hole.
Sunlight is the number one fucking rule against vampires. They all know that, and for some reason
Right.
they just were hanging out outside.
They stood out there.
And the main fucking antagonist, the first scene you see him in, he's burning up and running away from the sunset.
Right.
So this guy knows,
Right.
but then stays out all night. I'm so confused. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he wanted Sammy. Also, he was standing at the door. Could have had him a million times. He could have
I know.
broke down the fucking door.
Well, that's what I mean is I feel like because he was the preacher's boy, he was the target, but they just don't lead into it at all. And then we haven't even, I mean, there's so many other things, dude. We could tear this thing apart a million different ways. I mean, when the movie opens, there's a whole monologue. I think it's Annie who's doing the talking, but you don't really know, talking about the ancient.
Right. Totally.
Like I think she's trying to get across to sinners and music, but I'm sober and focused, and I still don't know what the hell she's talking about.
And
even
I was blacked out drunk, and I don't know what the fuck she was talking about.
We know the same. We know the same amount.
And also, why did Sammy's dad hate him so much?
But he didn't even really hate him. He just didn't want him. He wanted him to focus on God because that's what it was back then in Bible country. That's all.
It seemed like he was like embarrassed by him, or he hated him for some reason, and he was like rebelling. Right? Am I getting that wrong?
No,
it seemed like he was.
No, I didn't get that sense.
Do you think Sammy was rebelling against his father, though? Am I right in that?
No,
you don't think so?
No, okay. I don't think so. I think he just wanted to play guitar.
Well, and the dad
he just didn't want to be a pastor. That's all. You know.
Gotcha. But and then the dad ended up being right. And that's
of course
that is, you know what, folks? You know what? If you can take anything away from this, and this is a great life lesson, when your dad says stay home, and nothing bad can happen to you.
You know what's so funny? Especially don't go out between the hours of 10 and 2. No. Like you're pretty good bet that nothing is going to happen in those hours. I'll say that last thing because I've been meaning to get to this, and then we can move on because I think we spent enough time on this. The big tagline. You had the problem with the Tommy gun as the big scene. Which I also have a problem with because it was marketed it wasn't used appropriately. Same thing with the big tagline. The big tagline in the trailer is, if you dance with the devil long enough, eventually he's going to follow you home.
Yeah.
Right? Great tagline, completely misused. Total wrong timing. It's like right at the beginning when there's no tension built up at all. What a waste of a line. Just a waste.
Not the first time that's been used. And I'm trying to think of the movie that it was used in even a better way. You keep dancing with the devil.
It sounds very familiar.
No, it's been in a movie. I know it. Four Brothers.
It's on the tip of your tongue.
Four Brothers.
Oh.
You keep dancing with the devil. Eventually they're going to follow you home. That's Four Brothers.
Really?
I know it is. It has to be, I think.
I'm Googling it now to see.
Has to be.
I don't. It's not coming up.
All right, hold on. I gotta put the mic
Dancing
down.
with the Devil quote. Let's see. It's probably, man, there's a whole bunch of different versions of this quote. Dancing with the Devil quotes in movies. Let's see.
It's like you keep.
Oh, no, it's Batman, dude, 99.
No.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
No, that's not it. That's not
that one?
No, that's not it. You keep dancing with the devil. Eventually, someone's going to answer. That's what it is. You keep knocking on the door of the devil. Eventually, someone's going to answer you. That's the quote. And I think that's from Four Brothers. I'm pretty sure.
Well, It's slightly different. Obviously, one's knocking on the door, the other one's dancing with the devil. But bottom line
Yeah.
is, it's a cool line.
It's a great
I
quote.
was okay with it.
No, it's a great quote.
But it was totally misused and not just feel like that was the case of the whole
And-
damn theme of this movie.
Oh.
Everything's misused, disjointed, and under optimized.
And what was Sammy's sin? Nothing.
Playing music, I think.
A sin to
Because
who?
I think down.
A sin to who?
So like Footloose, how dancing is a sin in that movie. I think that was it.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, no, totally.
Well,
no, totally.
no, I think legitimately, I think that was like what they were starting. But really, his sin later was that he was sleeping with a married woman. That was the sin later.
And also,
That's
like,
the girl he was going after.
Yeah, and he lost her. Yeah, man, just nothing. And I'm okay with movies having no redeeming qualities where they leave you feeling uneasy. I'm not mad at that, but man, in this one it's tough. It's just kind of tough.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel good.
I'm not satisfied, dude.
No,
that's where we are.
Yeah, you don't feel good about any of it. So, man. And maybe if that's what Coogler was going for, then hey, he fucking achieved it. But I don't know. He just could have.
No, I don't think that's what it was. I just think it wasn't as good as it was hyped to be in terms of overall storytelling. Period. And you know what? That's back-to-back weeks where you're getting, and you pointed this out, you're getting something different, which we talked about, unique and different. It is that.
Right.
But you still have to have substance to the film. You can't just let it.
And it's just crazy.
I got to connect with it somehow, man. I have to.
I do too. And what's crazy is you have this whole film about vampires and this evil thing, and then then they vanquish them, and then the white supremacists show up. What the fuck?
Right.
What? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I thought the vampires were the white supremacists. I thought that was the thing, but it wasn't. So
it's like the English trifle in the Friends episode. You got like beef and ladyfingers, and you got like whipped cream and peas. It's all over the place.
It's all. The third act is such a fucking mess, and it's unfortunate. But I did read that this is supposed to be the first movie of like some sort of cinematic universe that Ryan Coogler is cooking up. So if the story continues, I'm down to see where it goes, if it does. But if not, yeah, what a missed opportunity, I think. But
weird start, I'll say that.
Yeah,
it's going further. It's a weird start because again, I don't know what the message is.
Would make,
if the message is
it would make
race. Are you going to make 3, 4, 5, 10 more movies about that?
Well,
maybe.
I guess it's not. The next movie is not going to be essentially a vampire movie, but something else. And honestly, it's like I almost wish they do continue it to make some sense of it. You know what I mean?
No, I get where you're. I totally get where you're headed. Because, like we said, right now I'm unfulfilled. I'm unsatisfied. So you do kind of get that sense. All right, do another one so I can see.
The Tommy gun scene was awesome. The last gun scene was fucking epic as shit, and it just should have been an hour of that and not an hour of just. Dude, it was literally like just watching bar operations. It's like, this is what I do. This is
very slow operations.
Yeah, and then I'm like talking to my manager, and she goes, well, what are the profits today? I go, well, I counted the tailback. This is what the profits are. Where like it was. Yeah. It's like it was literally just day-to-day bar operations for an hour of the movie. Funny. It's so strange, dude. This and literally Michael B. Jordan's character goes to the other brother. He goes, so how are we doing today? He goes, they literally count the money. Like, it's so funny.
Oh, which, by the way, when they did that, I couldn't make sense because again, I couldn't understand them and half the dialogue. I couldn't understand if they were. I think they were not making enough money.
They were not.
I think is what was happening.
They were not.
Yeah.
Also, the place was packed. So but they stole all the booze, so didn't have to pay for that. So I think.
Yeah, where's the overhead? They paid cash for the building. The building's not on loan.
No, and they also could have just killed the white guy in the beginning and didn't. Anyways, all right. I think
what a mess.
No, but we have a lot to get to. I got a really funny thing to get to, but I want to hear what your stinks this week is because you sent me a little preview of it, but I got something really good too. So go ahead.
All right. So what stinks this week? I have two things. The first was just going to be on a previous episode. We talked about the San Francisco Giants and their City Connect uniforms and Christian's disdain for them. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I sent Christian a text that said it basically was like, is he didn't like those. You're definitely not going to like these. And it was the City Connect jerseys for, I want to say,
the Rockies.
The Rockies?
Yeah, the Rockies.
Christian had a problem with the Giants like groovy 60s theme, and the Rockies City Connect jerseys, I don't know if you pull it up on your phone, or actually I have it right here, is coloring is really hard to see on this.
Why does that look like Brock Purdy, by the way?
It kind of does, yeah. It's really hard to see in this angle, but it's like teals and purples and yellows, and it very yellow baseballs. It looks hideous. So my point was going to be ours are better than those by a mile.
But what is obsession with the Sherbert jerseys now?
I just think because it's different.
The Padres do this, and now they're
all doing
the Giants apparently are dipping their toe in. We're very close to being
dipping their spoon into the Sherbert.
Yeah, and now the Colorado fucking Rockies for some reason. Yeah,
I don't know. There's themes to these things. Christian hates it altogether, which we've already documented. Go listen to a previous pod, but that's not the main thing. Here's the main thing that stinks this week: the NFL draft is upon us tomorrow, which I'm very excited about because it's a big year for 49ers fans because we have a bunch of draft picks and it's going to be actually a very fun draft this year because we need everything. But the NFL draft hats are god awful, and they're awful every year. Every year they're terrible. And we asked the question of who is buying these hats. And the answer is our dad. He buys hats like this. These gimmick hats, which we've already roasted him for many times. But this is I'm going to show you guys the NFL draft hat this year very quickly. And it is awful.
Does it have the braid?
Terrible.
The braid? Is that why you don't like it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. They basically took the military hats from like war veterans, and that's what they're going with. So here's the style. All the hats look the same as this right here. It just says what the team is and the city. And it has some weird, which I think this is a foghorn, I think, for the Giants. I mean, for the Niners is what that is, but you can see Leghorn, foghorn, Leghorn. And then you've got apparently the Seahawks. Apparently they have Sasquatch. Is that what that is? Apparently that's where he lives, is up there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Packers, they have some sort of bicycle. Don't understand that because I'm not from Green Bay. Anyway,
I know. That's where that's where Joe Biden fell over on his bicycle.
Shut up. Say it to my face.
Hey, things are going great, man.
And I love Dallas's. This is my personal favorite. We don't know what to put for Dallas, so we're just going to put a big star again over the top of the United States.
Can we?
Is this?
That's a good point. Because can we talk about what's happening in Dallas and Nico Harrison?
I don't even know. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. You're good.
I sharing the screen?
Yeah. No, you're
not showing.
I'm not sharing. You're not
all
sharing.
The hats.
No, you're not sharing.
I'm not sharing.
No, you're not sharing.
I was though.
Yeah, not anymore.
I was sharing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. No, you're not.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. That's not even the right one. That's not even the one I was trying to share. I was trying to share all these different hats because I thought you could see them all.
I saw the first.
Oh, maybe if I do it, but you can't see this now, right? This big one. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's what sucks. And just really quickly, they're all bad. So this is this year's. If I go back, I could do this 100 times. And I could do last year's draft hat, okay? And last year's was basically nothing. It was just a regular hat. Like of all the hats this is actually not one of the least worst ones because all they were last year was just the logo. So like, I'm okay with these ones. They're not that hideous, but generally they're all bad.
I'm just confused.
Here's the 2023 hats. This one.
I'm not seeing it.
I keep thinking I'm sure. I wish it would just share consistently. Well, I must be clicking the wrong option.
Sharing consistently is great.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, and here we go. There's options here. Entire screen. Sorry, guys. I'm new to the sharing thing.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay. So
that
here's
shit sucks.
That's 2023. 2024 was not that bad. Like I said, these ones were actually not that bad.
That's not bad.
But if I go back,
I don't like the black.
Look at these hot garbage. 2022.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Sure. Okay, how about this one?
No, that's complete dog shit.
Now you don't like the trucker hat, probably.
No, definitely not. That's complete dog shit. I do love though. How awkwardly it fits every player. Yeah, and they just have to put it on and it's like not fitted for their head I love that part.
Oh,
That's
look
great.
Look at this garbage.
Oh my God. The Browns? Are you gonna click the Browns? The Cardinals is bad. What's the one below that?
This is the Browns right here.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
My God. That
terrible.
shit sucks. That shit sucks.
Look at the Broncos.
My God, that shit sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is assaulting my eyes, this Jacksonville one. So, yeah. So that's what stinks this week, you guys, is the draft hats are just terrible. And as the further back I go, oh my God, look at these. 2018. It looks like they made these in home ec.
Home ec is crazy. They cooked it up.
That's nuts, dude. Look at this one. Dog pound. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, all right.
It's crazy.
You get the point.
Yeah, no, I don't know who they're hiring to be in these positions in terms of when it comes to the fucking Sherbert jerseys or these hats.
Hats.
And it's just like I come back to like how I feel about any like throwback jersey. When it comes to the Kings, just do the old black Kings jersey. When it comes to the Giants, just do the old black Friday Giants. They're overthinking this shit so fucking much. It's crazy, but then people like my father are buying the hats. So it is what it is, and they're going to keep making their money.
Well, the City Connect ones, I understand the design part because the whole point of that effort, and I'm not saying I agree with the effort. Clearly, I think we know where you stand. Just don't do City Connect. That's what you want. But they're trying to be cute, connecting the city. They're not trying to do a retro one. That's a different thing altogether.
Sure.
But yes.
Do you think...
just don't do it.
Do you think you think...
Wherever you're going sounds like it's going to be bad.
Good. Do you think? Well, it's not that bad. But do you think the new Giant City Connect jerseys, the vinyl, is a song that they played at the juke joint in 1932? It was Sammy. Maybe it was Sammy's song.
I don't think it was the blues.
And you know what? So. Also, I thought I would just go back real quick. I thought Sammy was gonna stab his dad in the heart with the guitar neck.
No, you were totally misreading the father-son relationship.
Yeah, I guess
there.
I was.
That wasn't nowhere near that deep.
I guess so.
All right, let's get to your story. What stinks this week for you?
Well, I wanted to first, because you brought up Dallas, and this wasn't my original thing, but I got to talk about it because Nico Harrison is the most hated man in the entire country, and I'm just baffled by what transpired and why it did. And if you don't know, Nico Harrison is the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, who traded away Luka Doncic, who is arguably a top 5 player in the NBA. He's only 25 years old. He's the player that the Kings passed up for Marvin Bagley.
Jesus.
And
brutal.
He traded him away to the LA Lakers, the fucking Lakers. And all they got back in return was a 32-year-old Anthony Davis, who's been injury riddled his entire career. He's never really been fully healthy. He got injured the game that after they traded for him, he got injured, didn't play for 2 months. And then he comes back for the playoffs. Kyrie Irving gets hurt. He goes down. Anthony Davis comes back for the playoffs, and he's injured by halftime. Doesn't play. And this guy, Nico Harrison, I have never seen career suicide like this in my entire life. I don't understand. And I was on Twitter and going kind of back and forth with somebody, and I was like, their tweet was like, well, they're just paying him. He's just doing his job. Like, he did what ownership asked him to do. And my point was, I would have fucking quit before I would have ever traded Nico Harrison Luka Doncic.
Right.
I would have literally gave up my job before I traded Luka Doncic to one of the most storied franchises of all time and giving them a boost in the playoffs and a boost in anything they need. And then Nico was interviewed and they were like, why do you think you shouldn't be fired? And why this man is making any public statements, why he was at the playoff game, the play-in playoff game, not in the tunnel like Jeff Petrie did, like a fucking gentleman. You stay in the fucking tunnel. This guy's sitting with the general public, and he's on TV. So then as soon as Anthony Davis went down in the play-in tournament, immediately the camera cuts to Nico Harrison, props to whoever is producing the broadcast, because it was awesome. Yeah. The shot of Nico Harrison in his face was fucking awesome. And I cannot for the life of me. And then Adam Silver is coming out and doing Damage Control. He's like, I had nothing to do with it. I don't know why they did it. And I just feel like it's all a lie. I feel like it's all a fucking lie. It makes no sense at all. Even if, and the reasoning is, Luka Doncic is not a good defensive player. He's had knee issues, whatever. But despite all of that, you do not trade a top 3 player for nothing. They got nothing. They got a guy who's 32 years old in return and 1 draft pick. That's insane. That's insane. And it sounds like tampering. And the fact that this guy... And so anyways, in his press conference, a reporter who had actual balls was like, why should you not be fired? And he goes, well, I feel like I've done a good job here. That's fucking insane. Don't hold a press conference. Why are you speaking? And that goes into my next what stinks this week. Why are you fucking talking? You shouldn't be. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. But so that goes into my next what stinks this week, which is George Clooney. Have you seen this?
I have not seen this. I love when you bring something new.
Well, he's got jet black hair now for some reason.
Boy.
He gave up the salt and pepper hair, which it's insane. He looks fucking crazy. He looks so
He looks like a vampire. He looks like Dracula.
What is this?
No, I don't like it. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me share it.
It's crazy, dude. He had the most beautiful salt and pepper hair. He's aging better than anybody else could age. Yeah. Man, well, no. So Google George Clooney variety, and you're gonna see it
here.
Yes. It's crazy.
Look at the difference between this and that. Like,
it's crazy, dude.
No, man, just no.
No. But anyways, so that's not the worst thing about the fucking interview. But I'm gonna play you a clip. So obviously, George Clooney, they get into politics. They start talking politics, and
of course they do. Yeah, why not?
But hold on, let's just go. Hold on, we'll just go through it.
Do you ever stop and wonder about Elon Musk? I mean, isn't he destroying the government?
Yeah.
When does he have time to tweet to you?
George, a guy chasing women.
What? Pot?
George?
Kettle?
Yeah.
Black?
George.
Wow.
All right. So I'll let that sit.
Okay. All right.
Do you think we're going to get through it? These
As
are
if
two.
George Clooney.
These are two multiple.
Well, who's doing the interview?
This
Patty
absolute
Lupone?
This absolute goblin. Yeah. Patty Lupone, I've never heard of. She looks like the back of my foot. She looks like the bottom of my fucking foot.
Wow.
And just the fucking audacity to be like, do you think we're going to get through this? Who? You? What do you have to get through? Patty? I'm sorry. Can you not afford your rent next month? George? What are you going through, George? What? Like, it's astounding to me. The fucking, and because they lost the election and they still have zero idea why. It's insane. It's fucking, it's
interviews like this.
Do you, words, do you think we're going to get through this is so fucking funny to me. I was cackling, laughing. And how, well, here, let's listen to George's answer. See how he thinks we're going to get through this.
But, you know, whatever. It's fine. We're going to get through it. I am a...
Do you think so?
I'm an optimist. Oh, yeah.
See, I'm half...
I'm
half a
You're
glass,
half empty?
I'm a glass half empty.
Well, let me try to...
She can't even get it out.
I would love to have $1 million and be a glass half empty type of guy. Wild.
You've been around long enough to remember 1968. Every city in the United States was on fire. We lost Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King. We were losing the greatest speakers we'd ever had. And we set every city in the country on fire. We had the Vietnam War was raging, the Tet Offensive, everything that was going on at that time in our country. President has to basically resign because Walter Cronkite said, you know, that Vietnam's unwinnable.
He told the truth?
We've been in much worse places, actually. The only thing that is different is the source of information and how much and how many different sources. It's the only thing that's different. But it's not nearly as violent, even though it feels violent. It's not nearly as hopeless as it was at that moment in time. So I will say, and we've done this before, the McCarthy era was very scary for a lot of people. I will say that we'll get through it. I'm disappointed in law firms. I'm disappointed in colleges. But I will also say I didn't understand, in my naivete, I didn't understand how deeply tied law firms and colleges were to government funding. Didn't understand it. So now it makes sense. It doesn't make, it's not great profiles in courage, but at least now I know why. But from Jackson to McCarthy to this, the authoritarian, the demagogue, it goes away when they go away, and he will go away. And we will, and they don't have anybody that's as charismatic as him. He's charismatic. There's no taking that away from him. He's a television star. He's charismatic. I mean,
that made her really mad.
Is he talking about Musk or Trump?
Trump.
Right there?
He's talking about Trump. He's calling him charismatic.
Because then it started about Musk, right? The whole interview.
Yeah. But what surprises me is he was making some valid points about him.
That was a relatively rational response. Yeah.
Totally.
Like well thought out response.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was kind of surprised to hear it, but I thought it was hilarious just based off her response because she was literally trying to get out of her own skin. Like this is a 60-year-old woman who is interviewing George Clooney for Variety magazine, talking about how she's going to get through her day because some fucking president is in charge, has nothing to do with her at all, has zero effect on her day-to-day, her family, anything, has nothing to do with it. And it's just so fucking funny to me, dude, that they just don't fucking get it. They just don't get it.
It is hard to... I'm sure there's a subset of people out there who
eat that shit up for sure.
Well, hold on. Well, definitely that is more than a subset. But what I was going to say, and I want to say this genuinely, because this is a mostly movies podcast, not mostly politics, but I do want to say this. There is a subset of people. I am not in this group. I am highly self-involved. I'm extremely focused on just myself and my family, and I am not one of those people that tries to pretend like I'm virtuous. There are people who we know, we literally call them virtue signalers, right? But there is a group of people who genuinely do think about the greater good.
Sure.
Those people are really hard for me to find when we have people like this where I can't tell if you're genuine or not, because you don't live the life that those people are living. Clearly, as you pointed out, like you're in Hollywood.
Right.
For Variety magazine. So it's different. Like he was talking about Martin Luther King being one of the great speakers of the time. Of course, he was a man of the people.
It was a cheater and a wife abuser, but yep.
Whatever. I mean, there's plenty of history on all these guys.
Yeah,
but he was of the people though, is my point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was in it. He was literally, at least initially, he was
100%
going to churches, walking the streets, doing that stuff.
Great man, all in all. Yeah.
Yeah, he
had his faults, but we all do.
He's speaking of things he understands.
Right.
That's what these people are generally not. So it's very difficult for me when they're doing this stuff to not look at them as virtue signalers, because that's how it comes across. Like you said, I don't know what you're afraid of. I can't imagine that you really. Maybe another way to say it is you and I are in way better positions to be afraid than she ever will be, and neither you or I are really feeling fear. So I don't know where it comes from, but it comes across, at least to me, as disingenuous because I don't feel what you're feeling, and I have way more positioning to feel that fear than you should.
And
based on what.
And this lady is part of a protected class. She has no feeling of any of that fear. And that's what's so offensive. And good on George. I got to be honest. I think he handled it well. He was like, no, we'll be fine. Which I guess now that I'm like seeing it, I guess I was kind of him being like, hey, you're taking this too far. We're going to be fine. It's all good.
Right.
And it didn't come across to me that way the first time. But I mean, he's kind of Looney Tunes too. Yeah, it's so hilarious to watch multimillionaires.
Clooney Tunes?
Yeah. It's just so funny to watch multimillionaires be like, what are we going to do? I don't know. Wake up tomorrow and do the same fucking thing you always do. Go interview some other fucking person for Variety magazine. Like what? Like you want to talk about privilege? You're interviewing George Clooney, one of the greatest actors of our lifetime, one of our favorite actors, I would say, and just to be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's so crazy. It's such an overreaction, and it's just so.
Well, that's what I
it's
mean.
so
Is I
out
don't
of
even
touch.
think she. Well, that's what I'm saying is I don't even think she's really saying, what am I going to do? She's saying, what are we going to do, as if she's defending this group of people, which, of course, we know who she's defending, anyone who didn't vote for that election. But again, it's disingenuous because you still aren't saying what you're afraid of. You
Right.
don't know what it is.
No, exactly.
And if you try to explain it, which many people who are in fear try to explain it, I still don't understand it. I've seen many podcasts and interviews, and I still don't get it. But
I don't need
it's fine.
And like the thing is, if everything was, and this is like, again, we don't want to get too political, but if everything was going so great in this country, why didn't your team win?
Right.
Why? And if you cannot wrap your head around that, or even have any type of self-reflection about it, I don't know what to tell you. But you lost. You lost for a reason. So just accept that and acknowledge it. And I think George kind of was, but
that's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, but and he even went on to say that, like, Donald Trump is charismatic. He was even willing to say that. Like, so even he kind of gets it. But just to see people like that, it's just so funny to me, dude. I'm just like, man, it's insane, dude.
To bring some levity to it, that was the funniest part of the whole thing, when he said that and she like recoiled inside her chair.
Yeah, dude.
It's like she threw up in her mouth a little bit. But we're look. If you take a look at her, and I mean, not trying to roast her, but if you take a look at her, it's like, you are less attractive than Donald Trump yourself. So it's funny to me that you're recoiling. That he's charismatic. It's wild, but
or just being able to be like, yeah, he is. Even if you hate the guy, even if you hate him, just admit it. Yeah, he is. He's a good speaker. He's obviously connects with a certain group of people. He is. And it's just like, they're just so unwilling to just say that thing. And it's so funny to me. I just thought that interview was so fucking self-aggrandizing and
what was that word?
Self-aggrandizing.
I heard that term. That's big.
Yeah, it's like
aggrandizing.
Yeah, like it's just like narcissism. You know what I mean? Like, they're so far up their own asses that they can't. You're gonna fact check me on this, and I hope you do, because I'm not sure either.
No, I'm actually just looking to see how it's spelled.
I'm literally not sure either, but I'm pretty sure that's
no.
it.
You're no.
Am I right?
No, you're doing good. It's promoting oneself as being powerful or important.
Okay,
That's exactly.
All right, sweet.
Yeah,
so
I've just never seen it.
Dude, I was not sure. I was not sure at all.
We love thee.
We love thee. Self-confidence, self-aggrandizing. All right. So, anyways,
all the selves.
I thought that I thought that interview was hilarious. And then the last thing I want to say is, and we'll leave on this, Carly and I were headed to the Easter barbecue, and we stopped at the store to get a Red Bull and some White Claws, and we were standing in the checkout line, and we were looking at like the kind of like, there's like a mini fridge right by the checkout line that had like those, you ever seen those Hillshire Farms, like they're adult Lunchables? They have like cheese, salami, and crackers.
Yeah.
And then they have like those shitty sandwiches, like those like the
pre-made sandwiches that stink.
Yeah. So dude, they had a ham sandwich, not a hand sandwich.
Well, technically, they're all hand sandwiches.
Sure. They had a ham sandwich that was like gray. It was like literally gray, and I pointed out.
It's way past its expiration date.
Yeah, and I pointed out to Carla. I was like, "Look at that fucking sandwich. That's fucking crazy." And then she goes, "Well, look at that Lunchable." And I look at it, and the salami is gray. And I don't know why, but I just go, well, no, that's,
oh boy.
I go, no, that's like blood sausage.
Blood sausage?
And she
what
goes,
are you talking about?
Because it was like dark. And I was just like, I was like, no, that's not bad. That's just like blood sausage or something. And she like picks it up. It's so bad. It's completely expired.
Your default position was that there's no way Lunchable would let something be that bad. So I'm just going to assume it's some eclectic meat. Blood sausage? Yeah, they don't sell. They can't keep those in stock, dude. They're blowing off the shelves. Blood sausage Lunchables.
She immediately called my bluff, and she goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I go, "Oh yeah, no, you're right. That's just."
It says right here, salami.
But I pointed out gray meat, And she laughed at it. And then she goes,
Right.
she points out gray meat. And I go, no, that's good. It's just English.
You are so stupid.
I'm such an asshole, dude.
You are such a jerk.
But it was so funny. She called me out immediately. It was just like, what?
What are you talking about?
No, it's fucking expired. And not only that, she took it off the shelf. She's like, I'm gonna let them know. I go, no, don't do. We don't gotta do all that. She goes, no, I'm gonna do it. And she like gave it to the guy, and he was like, Jesus Christ.
That one guy, one of our favorite actor. What's his name? He's in all the movies. J.K. Simmons. Jesus Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, I had so much confidence saying that, and I don't know why at all.
Oh my God.
Just immediately was like, no, that's blood sauce in a Lunchable with cheese.
They've never made a blood sausage Lunchable in the history of the company, and that's his default position. What a weirdo.
I love it.
So I love that too. You're such a jerk. I wanted to start a new segment to close out every show with.
Love it.
Very simple. We're going to each give a movie recommendation. So very simple. You give a recommendation. It could be, we've seen 1,000 movies, so pick anyone that's on your mind that's fresh and that you think people should see.
I gotta go, if you're putting me on the spot here, so I gotta go with The Nice Guys. Ryan Gosling. It's up there with the other guys for me. And when we talked about our favorite movies, that was one I left off the list. The Other Guys is one of the funniest, one of my favorite movies of all time. I could watch it.
The Other Guys or The Nice Guys?
The Other Guys. But the
one with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell.
But The Nice Guys is up there on that level. It's hilarious. It's a great plot line. Watch it. It's a buddy cop movie. It's phenomenal. It's such a feel good movie.
It's creative. It's well done.
Yeah, and Ryan Gosling and not Gerard Butler. What's his name?
Russell
Crowe. They're both fucking amazing in it, and that's what I would say.
Yeah. So Nice Guys is a good one. So you can see that. I'm sure that's on Amazon or Netflix, any of those streaming services, one of them. And so I'm going to go with, because you just reminded me of this actor, J.K. Simmons, one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies. We talked a lot about Coen Brothers movies. Burn After Reading is one of my favorites of theirs. So, and also stars George Clooney. So it's topical for today's thing. So go see that. Both of them, and I think I mentioned this on The Nice Guys, Christian saw that without me and they kept pestering me to see it. So finally I made time to watch it. And that one has a little bit of Coen Brothers vibes to it, where kind of everything just kind of goes wrong, but it all works together for hilarity. So both of those are good. Go watch both of those or one of them. And that's it for today, folks.
Man, we done did it.
We did it.
You guys
don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, all that stuff. Hit us up.
All that stuff. And like Nick told me today when I went and saw this movie, bring a Red Bull. You're gonna need it, or you're gonna need an 8-ball of cocaine to get through it. So good luck.
Which some say is already in Red Bull. So,
but anyways,
all right, guys.
Love you, brother. We'll see you next week, guys.
Love you guys. Love you too. See ya.